Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I want to talk about Andre Kole. Andre Kole was an inspiration for me. I haven't really mentioned him in the vlogs that I've done previously, but I needed to. Andre Kole was a huge influence on my life for spiritual reasons, and I want to get into that. Of course, Doug Henning was a primary for me, but Andre Kole, if you didn't know this already, Andre Kole invented many of the illusions that Doug Henning performed, that David Copperfield performed. He was one of the geniuses behind the scenes. John Gahn was a great builder. John Gahn built a lot of Andre Kole's inventions for some of these other magicians, Doug Henning, David Copperfield. But Andre Kole was a devout believer, a Christian. And he devoted his entire life and career to a ministry with Campus Crusade for Christ. I remember going to Towson University. I was a student at Towson University. And Andre came. Now, Andre did a complete illusion show. The quality of David Copperfield, Doug Henning, Blackstone, did a grand illusion show, full stage. Levitation, sawing illusion, everything, but I think everything he did, including his levitation, was his own invention. So the way this show would work, he'd come out and he would do a complete illusion show. One of the best shows I've ever seen live. And then he would come forward and he'd say, I'm going to have a discussion about some spiritual topics. If you think you might find this offensive, please leave. But if you want to stay, stick around. I have some more magic to do. I'm going to talk to you about some spiritual issues. And then he would proceed to talk about some of the things that were happening in our culture. And he would talk about Christ and his relationship with Christ. And he would issue an invitation to those to receive Christ. And it was amazing. It was amazing to watch such a talented person devote his life to Christ in that way, and as a performer, and as an artist, giving his art over in that way. If you ask David Copperfield who is Andre Kole, I think he'd tell you he's one of the great magicians of our time. Doug Henning would say the same. John Gahn would say the same. And yet he devoted himself to the Campus Crusade for Christ and to that particular ministry. There was a point in my life. I had just gotten back from seminary. I was settling in, and I wasn't working in the ministry. I was working a secular job, but I was doing a lot of magic, and my career was really taking off. Now, I've since left the very conservative church that I was a part of. I'm not going to name denominations, but in this particular church, I felt it was necessary, personally, I felt it was necessary to seek the blessing of the leadership of the church on what I was doing. And what I was doing was a full-scale illusion show. So I presented this to them, and they had misgivings. A lot of conservatives do. They had misgivings about what I was doing. And it caused a bit of a crisis for me. You know, do I give up what I'm doing? Do I decide that it's not appropriate? Do I do something? I mean, how do I navigate this? So the greatest performing Christian magician that I knew was Andre Kole. Back in those days, you didn't have the internet, you weren't sending emails. So I sat down and I composed a letter. And I sent this off to Andre Kole, and I expressed my concerns. I basically said, I'm conflicted. I have a passion for the performance art of magic. I also have a passion for the church and for the ministry. You seem to have navigated that. Can you help me? That began a correspondence between us that lasted a good long time. And he sent me materials. He sent me books. He sent me inspiration. He sent me letters. He sent me encouragement. And he was a mentor to me in that regard. And yet I've never mentioned him on this vlog. So with that in mind, let me give you some information about this person, the great Andre Kole. He was born Robert Gurtler Jr. in Phoenix, Arizona, September 30th, 1936. Crossed over October 17th, 2022. We just lost him this year. As I record this, I'm in mid-December 2022, so it's just been 2 months. He passed at the age of 86, one of the great inventors of our time, one of the great performers of our time. He was inspired to take up magic at the age of 7 after seeing a performance by Moxo the Magician, real name Mark Barker. Age 20, he performed his famous Table of Death. Yes, the spike table illusion is his invention. Doug Henning went on to do that in the Broadway show. He performed the Table of Death on the national network television show You Asked For It. He has performed throughout the United States and in 79 countries. He has made special television appearances that aired in 40 different countries. He invented the squeeze box, licensed to builder John Gunn. And he invented the head mover illusion, which was performed by David Copperfield on one of his television specials. And many, many more illusions that you probably never knew he was the inventor of. He did not perform the classic rabbit from the hat illusion because he claimed he was allergic to rabbits. I'm going to put a link to his material down below. I would encourage you to go take a look. I just wanted to do this tribute to Andre. You know, I didn't even know. I sat down and I decided I want to do something about Andre. I didn't even know he had passed this year. I started to research his life and I discovered that he passed away in October, and I was, oh, how devastating. You know, I hadn't corresponded with him since probably the mid-90s. But he was a fantastic performer. He was a fantastic inventor. If you did not know about him, please take a look. Please take a look at some of the links. Investigate for yourself. He was a remarkable person. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you've not done so already. Please comment down below. I love your comments. Have a great day. Bye-bye.